Okay, I'm sort of hiding on my staircase. Hazel's watching a show, and hopefully you can't hear it too much in the background. To me, it's not very loud, but then sometimes when I play back a video, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. So hopefully it's not too annoying. I wanted to do a video. I don't know if I've talked about this before. I mean, I've talked about permission to eat, but I don't know if I've done it in this context. But I wanted to talk about how when I'm coaching and I am listening to a client talk about their situation or kind of like what's been going on, or even just like listening to them talk, I can tell that they're still very much under eating, right? Not because I'm asking them their weight, not because I'm asking how many calories they're eating, not because I'm asking if they're eating all their meals or snacks, really just in the way that they're talking. And oftentimes I'll say, it's very apparent to me that you are still very much under eating. And I'm fully aware that when I say that, I'm fully aware of this, that when I say that, it's like music to your eating disorder's ears. It's like, oh my gosh, I just got that satisfaction that I was looking. I just got that, oh, phew. Okay, so there's still permission there. Oh, phew. So the if and when I ever decide to eat unrestrictedly, I have that there in the future. I have that in my back pocket. Someone's telling me that I'm always under eating, and I never want to lose that. So it's almost interesting what I'm finding through years of coaching is it's tricky, because if I don't say that and I constantly encourage people to eat more, they don't. But also if I say that and I'm encouraging them and telling them that there are a lot of signs indicating that they're not eating enough, it's almost like they never want to get rid of that. They never want to have a session where I'm not saying that, right? And I can see this, I can see how this would be in my own eating disorder, probably before my real recovery. I could have seen how I would have really liked that. I did like that in years past. Therapists, dietitians, I'd leave a session and they're like, you really need to eat more. And I'd be like, okay, phew, I passed. They said I need to eat more. It's like this weird, sick response to that statement. And so when I say that to clients, like I said, it's almost like this fear that if they actually did, in fact, eat unrestrictedly, and they came to me and they were telling me all the things they were doing and there's no restriction, and I didn't keep pushing them and telling them they need to eat more, which you always do, until you are fully recovered and you're mentally rewired, there's always going to be that push to keep eating more, right? But it's like the idea of losing that, or the idea of not having to want someone to constantly tell them that they need to eat more, is terrifying. And what I want to tell you is, you'll know when you're there, because you'll no longer crave or desire anyone ever having to tell you that you should be eating more. If someone came to me right now and said, you need to eat more, I'd like laugh at them and be like, what are you talking about? Right? I wouldn't get any kind of buzz from it or high or, oh, really? I get to eat. None of that would happen. It'd just be like, what are you talking about? Right? And not because I was in denial, but just genuinely because I know I'm nourishing myself. And so if you're still getting sort of that exciting buzz when someone tells you that, you're still disordered. You're still disordered, and you don't want to have to live a life where someone's always having to tell you that you should eat more. There's no prize for that. There's no gold medal for that. There's nothing special about someone having to tell you that, other than that you're a mature adult who should be able to feed yourself properly, and someone's having to tell you constantly that you should be eating more. There should be no pride in that. And I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just saying you've got an eating disorder and you need to move on from it. You need to recover from it. And you need to no longer want to hear someone tell you that. So that's my message to you today. If you're a client of mine and you hear me saying that, acknowledge that it feels good. Acknowledge that it's like, she said I need to eat more. But then after that, recognize that as disordered, and do everything in your power to actually eat more, and get to a place where you no longer need that permission, because you're giving it to yourself every day. You're recognizing, hey, I could have eaten more today, and you do it. Hey, I really need to push harder, and you do it. Hey, I've noticed that I skipped such and such, and I'm gonna fix it. You need to start taking more responsibility for that, right? And so as a coach, I'm here to listen for disorder in a session and call you out on it. And then the advice that I'm giving you, you have to trust and you have to have humility. Both of those two things are very important. If you're gonna lean on someone or you're going to ask for support from someone in recovery, you have to have those two components. I was really bad at both of those things before recovery. I didn't trust anyone, and I was very prideful. I thought I could do it myself. I thought I knew exactly what I was doing, and I didn't want to listen to anyone. But when I finally actually did open my mind to maybe potentially someone else knowing better than me, who had been through it before, that's when things change. And that took a ton of humility and so much trust. So my message to you today is, like I said, if you're still craving and still getting excited about someone telling you that you need to eat more, you're still disordered. And if in fact you want to fully recover, you got to stop that and eat more and give yourself that permission to eat more until you get to a place where no one's telling you to eat more. You're eating sufficiently for yourself. And the idea of someone telling you to eat more is just weird. Just would be out of place. Okay? All right. Have a good day.